Welcome to NTN Nightly. I am Lucia Antoine. This edition's top stories. St. Lucia records the 25th case of COVID-19. The Boys Training Center's manager speaks on plans for the $50,000 donation received from the Prime Minister's ball. And the Water and Sewage Company Wasco has held its second annual general meeting. On Thursday, July 30th, 2020, the Ministry of Health and Wellness received results of a positive COVID-19 case. The individual is a 87-year-old male patient with a history of diabetes, high blood pressure, investigated for prostate cancer with a history of surgery 2 weeks ago. He was transferred to the respiratory hospital on July 26, 2020. The Chief Medical Officer at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Sharon Belma-George, provides an update.
He's presently in the intensive care unit at the respiratory hospital for management and care. The team has commenced investigations and contact tracing to establish the source and contain transmission. Updated information will be provided as received. This new case brings the total number of cases reported to 25. 22 of those cases have fully recovered and 3 patients remain in care at the respiratory hospital. A total of 2,968 tests have been conducted to date. As we manage new cases and investigate possible contacts, the public is advised to take personal responsibility to protect themselves and family. We advise on responsible behavior without unnecessary panic. The public is advised that all protocols are still in place, including the reduced numbers for public transportation and protocols for public and private sector establishments. These also include the use of face masks in public places and maintaining safe physical distance from others.
This new case brings the total number of cases reported to 25. 22 of these cases have fully recovered and 3 patients remain in care at the respiratory hospital. A total of 2,968 tests have been conducted to date. The Chief Medical Officer explained that the 5 respiratory clinics remain open to facilitate anyone with respiratory signs and symptoms or concerns. The 311 hotline is also available where concerns and questions can be addressed. Boys Training Center's manager Wang Sonson stopped by our GIS studios on Wednesday to speak on plans for the $50,000 donation received from the Prime Minister's Independence Ball proceeds. This was the largest donation made to 17 charities and other non-profit agencies in a check handing over ceremony 2 weeks ago. Jesse Leos has the details.
Manager of the Boys Training Center, Mr. Wang Sonson, was elated by the donation of $50,000 from the Prime Minister's Independence Ball, which was held earlier this year. During the check handing over ceremony, which took place on Monday, 20th July 2020, the Boys Training Center received the largest sum among the donations made to 17 charities and non-profit organizations. Mr. Sonson was heartened by the gesture and said that the donation would go a long way in improving the lives of the boys at the institution.
The message it sends, and I think that not only to the boys but to the staff of the center, is that we are being thought of. And although we know with the onset of COVID, finances and what we had initially planned for with our budget, it did not come through. But the fact that this donation came our way will let us know that in all these difficult times, the Prime Minister's office holds the center dear to heart, and they are trying their best to ensure that the boys at the center succeed.
The Boys Training Center is a juvenile rehabilitation facility taking in minors that are in need of care and protection and those who come in conflict with the law and have been remanded by the justice system. The center has ongoing a number of rehabilitative programs, counseling services, and robust sports and music programs. The institution also offers technical vocational subjects including welding, auto mechanics, woodwork, and agriculture.
Over the past 3 years, we decided that we really wanted to get a boy at the center some form of qualification before leaving the center. And we want this to be something that is ongoing. We were able to have a group of boys sometime in 2017 assessed for CVQ level 1 in agriculture, some aspects of CVQ level 1. They were all successful, but unfortunately because of the high turnover rate, they were never able to complete level 1 CVQ. We built on that, and last year we had a boy, a former ward now, assessed for level 1 and level 2 in auto mechanics and welding. And as a matter of fact, he was very successful, and he's now gainfully employed, having attained those certificates. We now have 2 boys awaiting to be assessed in welding, and hopefully in the next month they would have gotten their certification.
Sonson indicates that the $50,000 donated from proceeds of the Prime Minister's Independence Ball will help strengthen their programming, among other enhancements at the facility.
We also going to purchase some furniture. We have a section of the center which is the care and protection area. So we're going to buy some, purchase some furniture to make it more homely for the boys that are there. And also, we've been making strides in our technical and vocational subjects, and agriculture is one over the past 3 months that has really taken off at the center. So we want to enhance and improve on the agricultural experience for the boys, so we are going to invest some of that money in our agricultural program.
The Prime Minister's Independence Ball was held as part of the nation's 41st Independence Day activities, organized jointly by the Office of the Prime Minister and the National Independence Committee. The funds raised went towards the most needy and vulnerable in society, including the homeless, elderly, and youth at risk, with approximately $300,000 being donated. For the Government Information Service, I am Jessie Leonce reporting.
The Water and Sewage Company, Wasco, has held its second annual general meeting. At the meeting held on Tuesday, the outgoing members of the Wasco board presented an annual report containing information for shareholders about the company's performance and strategy. The Water and Sewage Company, Wasco, has held its second annual general meeting. The Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Physical Planning, Natural Resources and Cooperatives, Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, during his address at the annual general meeting, gave an update on the current position of the Water and Sewage Company. The minister highlighted that one of the main goals of the company is to reduce the amount of non-revenue water. Non-revenue water is water that has been produced and is lost before it reaches the customer. This can occur through physical losses due to leaking and broken pipes, which are caused by poor operations and maintenance, the lack of active leakage control, and poor quality of underground assets.
We still have to continue to put the systems in place to reduce non-revenue water. We can't have an organization operating, whilst our finances seems to be looking okay, operating, and the figures are showing between 40 and 50%, and depends who you speak with, 60% non-revenue water. That's too high. And that's one of the reasons why I have said, as the Line Minister, until we are able to reduce the whole aspect of the non-revenue water, I would not be supportive of any increase in tariff. And whilst I don't have the authority to determine that, but I just want to express my sentiments. I believe we need to reduce non-revenue water. We cannot be expending so much financial resources, and when you heard that our situation as far as non-revenue water is not very encouraging.
The Minister for Agriculture also highlighted the importance of new technology in reducing energy cost. Minister Joseph noted that the company is investigating other possibilities of water harvesting, such as underground water harvesting and desalination. The minister also gave an update on the current desilting of the Roseau Dam project.
We have not seen the commencement of the desilting, but based on information, it should start this year. And after how many years? 2010 to now? 12 years, 10 years, 10 years, we shall see the commencement of the desilting of the John Compton Dam. I want to say that whatever contract we have is only the first phase of the desilting. It's only the first phase of the desilting, because I was under the impression before I got directly involved with this organization, I was under the impression that the desilting was going to take 1 year. That was my understanding. But what we are doing there right now is just the commencement of the desilting. And based on information from the technical team, the desilting, if, of course, barring any unforeseen, barring any other Thomas, or barring any other Christmas Eve trough, the desilting will take almost 8 to 9 years.
The Cabinet Secretary and representative of the shareholder, the Government of St. Lucia, Benjamin Emmanuel, recognized and expressed gratitude on behalf of the shareholder to the outgoing board of the company for its compliance with the corporate governance requirements of the company.
Today's meeting, or this second general annual meeting, is in fact a demonstration of that commitment and dedication of the board under the able leadership of Mr. Francis Dembo and supported by his board to ensure compliance and adherence to the corporate governance requirement of this organization or this company. In the report from the general manager, we note the continued improvement in performance of the company in fulfillment of its mandate, the reforms and the restructuring being pursued by the company over the years, and the significant achievements being made in that direction.
The annual general meeting took place on Tuesday, July 28, 2020. From the Government Information Service, I am Anicia Antoine reporting. The Consumer Affairs Department is working to resolve all reported consumer complaints. More in this report from Marvin St. Louis.
Consumer complaints are being addressed. The Acting Chief Complaints and Investigation Officer at the Consumer Affairs Department has assured the general public COVID-19 has not masked the department's work.
It is important to note that 90% of consumer complaints received during COVID period, they have been successfully resolved. 90%, and in fact, that percentage is a conservative figure.
Leslie Louis took his consumer complaint to the police. He sought resolution to an ongoing dispute.
The police tell me, well, they cannot do much for me in that area. The best place to go is to go to the Consumer Affairs Department. I felt I should just give up that. Because I know things that involve government, usually you have to go up and down, a lot of red tape, how much story. And I did that, but practically happened over the phone on WhatsApp. So I was very sad. To be honest, that was one of the main reasons why I feel you should always contact the Consumer Affairs Department, because I never thought it would have happened so easily.
The Consumer Affairs Department wishes to thank all businesses in St. Lucia who have cooperated in providing redress to consumers. Those efforts have not gone unnoticed.
Retailers of propane gas, the owners of establishments who retail spare parts and accessories for vehicles, and also retailers of furniture and electronics. We want to say thank you, and we would like you to continue this partnership between the Consumer Affairs Department, the consumers, and the business community.
Mr. Joseph also reminds consumers to keep their receipts as proof of purchase, ask questions about the product or the service, inquire and discuss issues relating to warranties. Marvin St. Louis, reporting from the Ministry of Commerce.
After months of reeling from the impact of the closure of borders related to COVID-19, Export St. Lucia is happy to report that St. Lucian farmers and exporters of agricultural produce will recommence exports to the United Kingdom on Sunday, the 26th of July. British Airways will operate a cargo-only flight to Gatwick to transport produce from 13 fresh produce exporters to the United Kingdom. General Manager of Iranura Air Cargo Services elatedly said that he was pleased to see the return of BA flights and that he was even more pleased to see activity at the cargo shed, which brought exporters relief. Naila Mangal of Mangal Trading, a young lady of mark, shared her thoughts on Sunday's shipments. She said, quote, "One of the most difficult things during this period was dealing with disappointment 3 ways. Our UK buyers were disappointed that they could not get our provisions. The farmers were disappointed that yet another sales revenue stream was gone. And for me as a young entrepreneur, I was unable to ply my trade for what seemed like forever. I am beyond happy about Sunday and looking forward to future exports." End quote. Naila has been in the news as of late as a young lady benefiting from assistance from Export St. Lucia with research and buyer matching in the UK market. Ms. Sunita Daniel of Export St. Lucia stated, quote, "The return of this cargo service from BA is one step towards a semblance of normalcy for the island and in particular our produce exporters. It had been a very trying time for us as an agency, having to deal with demand from buyers and distress from our exporters. We did, however, remain in contact with our buyers in the UK and kept looking for new purchasers as there had been an increase in supply over the last few months. The outgoing produce will bear our Taste of St. Lucia mark, a mark synonymous with high quality and authentic St. Lucian products." End quote. This is NTN Nightly. Up next, Primus Hutchinson with the NTN Nouvelle Creole.
It is possible for infected food handlers or workers to introduce the COVID-19 virus into food or onto surfaces within the food business by coughing and sneezing or through hand contact unless they strictly follow good personal hygiene practices. Food handlers must wash their hands before starting work, before handling cooked or ready-to-eat food, after handling or preparing raw food, after handling waste, after cleaning duties, after using the toilet, after blowing their nose or sneezing or coughing, after eating or drinking, and after handling money. More than ever before, your important role as gatekeepers of St. Lucia's nutritional health and food security should be taken seriously. When you exercise these precautions, you not only safeguard your health, but also continue to allow St. Lucians access to clean, healthy, and safe food. Remember, it is our responsibility to ensure our nation eats fresh, St. Lucia's best.
Welcome back. We now join Primus Hutchinson for the NTN Nouvelle Creole.
Monsieur Anicia, Messieurs, Mesdames, département qui a une responsabilité pour information en gouvernement Saint-Lucie, GIS, et télévision nationale pays NTN, qui a présenté nouvelle à Creole, présenté Primus Hutchinson. Les membres conseil de cabinet en gouvernement Saint-Lucie j'ai autorisé le ministère des Affaires, Commerce, Investissement, Industrie et les consommateurs en collaboration avec le bureau attorney général pays pour préparer la législation pour régler l'implémentation de l'industrie business marijuana en cette lycée. À peu près une année depuis le gouvernement a approuvé apparemment un comité pour discuter et faire recommandations pour l'établissement de l'industrie marijuana dans le pays là. Le gouvernement à présent j'ai approuvé une autre action pour établir l'industrie là à cette lycée. Durant une conférence et puis les membres médias pays, le ministre a une responsabilité pour représenter le gouvernement à ce progrès comité là. On est Bradley Felix expliquer la façon que le gouvernement a approché la législation là. Parmi ça c'est la législation là qui a trouvé adressé, c'est affaires personnelles, religion aussi, et services médicaments. Il déclare que l'année aussi facilité de recherche et arrangement pour licencier. La législation qui a adressé la loi qui était en place avant pour punir peuple là pour qu'à servir marijuana. En bas offense qui était bien mince. Alors loi 9 là qui effacer ces législation ça là. Présentement pays a une loi pour monde qui a servi marijuana et qui parmi ces condamnations pour ces offenses là c'est 3 années en prison et bien $100,000. Aussi 14 années en prison et bien $200,000. En cas de récemment on a Bradley Félix avoué qui 25% monde qui trouvé condamnation avec condamné pour prison en résultat de marijuana à l'âge de 20 pour 30 années et plus que 54% yo tenu éducation secondaire et bien éducation qui plus haut en plus ça c'est en plus de ça 90% yo été employé ça veut dire yo tenu un travail à l'air alors selon honorable Félix système ça là qui a détruit la jeunesse qui est capable pour faire une grande contribution pour le développement économique ici. Mais le ministre Félix a fait comprendre qu'il aussi, à part du cabinet qui a examiné ces recommandations, sérieusement, il a fait ça, il a fait assurer que l'organisation comme l'association, les avocats et plusieurs autres organisations pour aussi l'examiner la législation encore. Avant, il allait devant le cabinet et pour le cabinet discuter avant il trouvait devant le Parlement à Caille-Concite finalement. Organisation les jeunesse, ça c'est NYC. C'était on a parlé plusieurs organisations, agences avec l'autre comité des volontaires à pays là qui trouvaient des bénéfices. On dit un bal d'indépendance que le Premier ministre honorable Alain Chastanet et Madame Lee a organisé tous les années. Durant une discussion à ce NTN, président de l'association Les Jeunes ici, Nailas Alfred, expliquait raison à ce ça très important. Il dit que le bureau NYC a touché à la jeunesse qui étudiant quand il y a une discussion avec jeunes ensemble et puis l'autre collègue. Alors, il a quoi il est nécessaire pour agrandir et éprouver l'établissement pour ça assister jeunesse pays encore primaire.
C'est pour ça que nous really apprécier donation que le gouvernement bail pour NYC. So gouvernement pas ça fait toute bagaille. Okay. Et puis là il y a une gap à côté. So responsabilité NYC c'est pour try faire ces bagailles là qui le gouvernement pas ça fait. So si y a les jeunes monde qui ou ça et puis Covid, en chaque jeune monde toi ko yo sans travail. So NYC a présent pour mettre ko en position pour bail jeune monde envoi pas envoi peut-être mais assistance. Nous pas ça ba yo travail. C'est ça, nous pas de l'argent, nous pas ça ba yo travail, mais nous ça aider in terms of try assister yo joindre travail là. So si c'est pour manière pour marcher application, manière pour faire un interview. So nous ça aider toutes ces bagailles ça là. So NYC nous a fait toute bagaille in terms of élection qui venir l'autre année as well. So NYC nous avons mis en position pour montrer jeunes monde about responsibility yo as citizens, citoyens cette ici.
Organisation les jeunes cette ici recevait $25,000 votre premier ministre là en résultat de Guambal était pas dans ça là. Pour que continuer à ce projet en l'autre chemin en pays là, vendredi passé, un contrat était signé pour projet chemin en patience et que ce chemin en village Mikou. Ce projet chemin ça là pour tuer les résidents, mais faciliter les conditions qui sont plus confortables pour eux. Le travail a continué avec bon progrès en Monchi, à ce chemin la retraite, qui était posé en low risk pour les gens avec l'auto qui était servi dans ce chemin. En mois de février l'année 2018, c'est aussi perdu un grand joueur cricket à des accidents de trafic en une situation chemin. Le gouvernement s'est laissé regarder pour une situation comme ça, pas vivre fait encore. En parlant de ça, Spring Road en Deriso est fini complètement le 20 juillet et à présent l'auto Jacques servi un mois à l'avance qui date là été supposé ouvert. Le ministre qui a responsabilité pour travaux et construction, honorable Stevenson King, complimenté Colin Lynch et Triple L Construction pour un job qui fait si tellement bien. L'autre projet qui a continué, c'est chemin Union pour Grand-Rivière, pour Maris Hill et chemin Blackstone à Jackmel. Et c'est comme ça, nous avons une nouvelle là. Je remercie autant pour regarder, pour avoir une invitation, pour que je ne puisse moins considérer qu'on se fait la vie, dans une nouvelle. Akoyola. Pues mukavie pozato anesio.
Messi appeal Primus. That brings us to the end of NTN Nightly. Join us next time at 7 p.m. with a repeat at 7 a.m. You can also catch up with us anytime on the St. Lucia Government Facebook page or YouTube channel. I am Anicia Antoine.